What is up and welcome to another edition of Worth a Watch with me, Anthony Flores. This is going to be my review for Horrible Bosses 2. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say everybody came back for this movie, which is always great for a sequel. You have Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston, Jamie Foxx, and Kevin Spacey, all returning with the exception, of course, of Colin Farrell's character. Minor spoilers if you've yet to see the original. Colin Farrell, his character died in the original because Kevin Spacey is an asshole and he shot him. So, yeah, and then we got a couple newcomers, Chris Pine and Christoph Waltz, who play investors that are father and son that want to invest in the invention that Nick, Dale, and Kurt, the characters that Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudeikis play, they're interested in buying their invention in the movie. It's called a shower buddy, and then from there, they invest, but then not quite, because shit hits the fan in terms of how the deals are done. And the whole reason why this even happened, because of the previous events of the other movie, from the original. Jason Bateman and Jason Sudeikis and Charlie Day are sick of just being cogs in the machine. They wanted to be their own bosses, so that's how they ended up here. And I liked this in terms of a comedy quite a bit. I love that there is genuine chemistry between actors. They look like they're having a great time and having fun making these characters come to life. And the original right here, I mean, I love it so much. It was definitely in my top 10 favorite movies of 2011. And it was definitely the best comedy compared to another franchise that had a sequel that year, which was the oh-so-disappointing Hangover Part 2. And that was just an abomination and basically a middle finger to the audience, basically saying, we did the exact point-for-point same movie, just in Thailand. So that was a nightmare of a situation, and that was honestly one of the first times I really just didn't like a comedy at all. So far, in terms of a franchise, I don't know if this is technically going to get a third film. I don't really see the need to. I could definitely see this going up to this film, and that's it. I think if they do make a third film, it would definitely be overkill. I really hope this is kind of like the way of Anchorman and Anchorman 2. It's a nice set, a good movie, a really hilarious original, and then we have a good enough sequel to follow. And this is definitely a good enough sequel. I laughed my ass off in this movie. I love the chemistry, as I said, between Bateman, Sudeikis, and Charlie Day there. I really just enjoyed it a lot. And my apologies, I'm just trying to read through my notes again. Trying to make this more of a relaxed review today, because I love comedy. I love just everything about the original, and I very much enjoyed a lot about this movie. I even more so enjoy Jennifer Aniston. She's a dirty, 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 dirty lady. And yeah, there's nothing else to say other than she plays dirty really well. And I'm glad for that she's having so much success playing these type of characters. I loved the character. I don't enjoy the craziness, but at the same time I do. But she took it to a next level, which was really, really funny. And Jamie Foxx is definitely great as Motherfucker Jones, or Motherfucker Jones, however you want to put it. And Kevin Spacey, that guy definitely loves his character, and he just brings it his all for the little bit he's in this movie. And newcomers of Chris Pine and Christoph Waltz. It'll segue for me to talk about the little bit of bad I didn't like. Once you play a Jew hunter, you can't go much more evil than that. I mean, well, you probably could, but in terms of realistic evil, I think Christoph Waltz has kind of shot himself in the foot on that, because whether it was his attempted a comedic comedic turn in The Green Hornet, this is definitely a better character than the character he had in Green Hornet, for those of you who remember that. But he still had hardly anything to do, and it's unfortunate that either it's the writer's fault in this one, or I just don't know. I think it's just he was evil. He was a douchebag of a father in this movie, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else was really done to enhance the assholeness like they did with Kevin Spacey or Colin Farrell or Jennifer Aniston. He was just an asshole father, and that was pretty generic for him, unfortunately. But Chris Pine at least had a lot more likability to him. He got to stretch his comedic talents, and I thought he was pretty funny in some moments here or there, like in Star Trek, and he really exercised that better because he's always trying to be that badass like in Star Trek or even that shitty Jack Ryan movie. But overall, he was pretty funny too. He definitely had a standout performance in this, and I liked him a lot. Of course, you end up hating him closer to the end of the movie, which is, I guess, another minor complaint. You kind of know where some of the twists and turns will come from, but at the same time, you don't. Some of them I saw coming a mile away, but then at the same time I didn't, and I very much was just like, holy shit, that just happened. That was awesome and funny at the same time. And that's the basic thing. This movie is genuinely fucking hilarious. I was so worried going into this movie because I loved the first one so much. It was such a surprise 3 years ago when this movie came out, and I wasn't expecting to really laugh as hard as I did, but I did. I actually had a good amount of consistent laughs, which is the best thing a comedy can do. Comparing this, I don't want to compare it to Dumb and Dumber 2, considering that was the most recent comedy that has come out as filming this, but this is technically a better sequel because it's not riding on nostalgia like Dumb and Dumber 2 was, but at the same time, Dumb and Dumber 2 has the nostalgia, so I can't really compare them, but like I said, the Hangover comparison is the best. The characters became more and more unlikable, and you just didn't give a fuck at all in the Hangover movies. After the first one, it was pretty much downhill. They changed it up a bit in the third one, which is what they did here. It's not relying on that gimmick of asshole bosses anymore. It's just a bit of a spin on the story, I guess, and the plot. But that's kind of what they did with Hangover 3, and I kind of like that idea, but it was too little too late. This movie did it right off the bat. It changed up the story. It didn't just give them new bosses to hate. It did something new, and I admire that. And there was character development in the sequel. That's, again, another point for that. That's awesome. And I didn't expect some of the really funny moments in this. There's some pretty offensive stuff, I guess, but it's an R-rated movie. I don't know. For those of you who get easily offended, I guess, don't see it. But other than that, if you enjoyed the first one, if you love all the people involved in this movie, I still say, regardless of the points I've made about what I didn't like too much, either way, it's definitely a damn funny movie, and I say see it. It's definitely, again, the chemistry of the three main actors here, that's the main thing I wanted to see brought forth even more so, and I got exactly that. Seeing them on another crazy adventure of crime and insanity. So, good stuff all around. I highly recommend checking it out to this Thanksgiving. So, that should do it, I believe, from my last video before Thanksgiving here. So, happy Thanksgiving, depending when you're watching this. And if not, hope you're having a good day. So, that should do it for my review of Horrible Bosses 2. Feel free to comment below, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff in between. So, until next time, I'm Anthony Flores with Worth a Watch, and keep going to the movies.